All right. Thank you very much. My mom's in the audience today. Well, online, not here. So I'll try to be, brief and, not inappropriate, shall we say.
Great start.
So, welcome to OnSet. I'm Daniel Norton here at Adorama. We got Marissa, Seth on the Mighty Mix. For some reason I'm getting you get the little, am I getting feedback? No. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought I was getting feedback. I might be talking louder than normal today. Is that better? You guys can hear me? Yep. Okay, good. So today we're going to talk about inspiration. So actually I was inspired by this because we're actually, as Seth mentioned, I am the editor of the blog, and Getty Images is teaming up with us, and we've got some classic images of Marilyn Monroe coming out next week with a great article by Jacqueline Tobin, and that's the 5th, is her 100th birthday. So I thought, this is somebody who has been so inspirational to so many people, right? These people that were alive, obviously, while she was alive. She passed away very young. People that picked it up later, generation after generation, finds this person. And what makes somebody so inspirational, right? And why do people work with them and the work that comes from it? And it just made me think of like all the different people that I work with. And I thought, Erica. And I was like, oh, she's out of town. Maybe I could shoot Marissa. Maybe I'll shoot Marissa. No, so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna talk about kind of the style, why I think certain shots really work. I'll show you kind of a couple of images we're gonna get inspired by. You'll see, and one thing I think is interesting, if you look through a lot of the work images that we see of Marilyn Monroe, we notice that the lighting and the style and stuff is very similar, possibly because she had a pretty short career, so it was during a very condensed period, but it goes to show you that you can get a lot of variety and a lot of interest without doing a lot of different fancy stuff, right? We don't need a million different techniques, smoke, sparklers, LED lights, though that'll be next week, for any kind of demo, right? Or any kind of shoot. Everything's a demo in my head today. But that stuff can be cool. But what makes a shot interesting is the connection that we have, right? We have with our subject that then creates a connection with the viewer. I saw Annie Leibovitz speak not that long ago, and one of the things that she said was, the best photo is the one that you don't see a camera there, right? That you feel like you're there, that there's no camera connection. There's no split between the subject and the photographer. And if you work with subjects, actors, models, your friends, people that you work with, people that you go around different parts of town, that you do street portraits, and you build a connection, that camera starts to disappear, right? And that's ultimately what we want here. So we're gonna kind of base our lighting-ish off of a classic kind of era lighting, and we'll go from there. Does my computer not work? All right. So I did download. I did weeks and weeks of research while I was eating a pizza slice right before this, and just pulled some really classic shots. I mean, if you type in classic shots, you're going to find a lot of shots if you are unfamiliar. This is your classic lighting from the era, and I'm very old-fashioned, I guess, because if you've been to any of my demos, when I shoot female subjects, I often say, what kind of light do I use, Eric? Butterfly, exactly. And we see here, this is kind of your classic butterfly light, right? Center of the face, really simple, showing the subject right in the eyes, but adding enough contrast. It shapes the face, it creates a nice even look. When we look at this shot here, which is outside, but also probably lit, I'm assuming, especially back in the day. You can tell, the reason why I know this is lit is because of this shadow. If she was laying on the beach at the end of the day and the sun was low in the sky, this shadow would not be so short necessarily. So it's lit, right? It's just basically, so we can see here, this is also, basically, this is, I think, what they call loop lighting technically, but it's also kind of that central light in the face. This is gonna be easy because it's all same light. This is natural light, but we still see why this kind of light feels natural is because that's how we are, right? This is totally natural. I'm sure in your house, you have lights like this, right? You stand in them like this when you're brushing your teeth. But, light comes from above, it shapes our face. That's why light feels very natural. Obviously, it's somewhat directional here. We have here, again, she's reacting, but she's in that light, that kind of upper light with some reaction. And we've got, even this classic Avedon shot. Avedon's lighting is typically from far away. So the shadows are more softened, but we see, again, that same kind of light. And finally, kind of a classic, more standard headshot, right? So we know what we're doing today, right? Light that shapes the face, that allows the subject to move around and basically emote. So let's do it. All right. They stopped paying me by the minute so I can go faster today. So, of course, whenever you're thinking about, like a lot of times somebody will come to me and say, Daniel, because that's my name, and they'll be like, I want to do a shot like this, right? So I want to know, I'm going to research the exact light they were using and the way that they were. You could do that, but I feel like as we are photographers, unless you're trying to copy something for whatever reason, historical reasons, instead of looking at exactly how somebody did something, look at the tools that we have, the way that you shoot, what you have available to you, and use those to craft the shot. So I know this is very likely some kind of a Fresnel light from a movie set, because that's what they often used in early photography. The beach shot is probably a small, hard reflector on a flash. Now, but typically for us, for beauty, what's the most common thing most people will use for beauty? A beauty dish, that's right. Marissa knows that. How come you guys don't know? All right. She's been. So I'm going to use a beauty dish because, you know, it's right in the name. So a beauty dish, or basically a pan reflector, right? That's also a baseball or a tennis ball, I guess. It's not a baseball. I'm not very sporty. A beauty dish is a pan reflector, right? So it is hard, but it's shallow. So it creates a very distinct, even light that's punchy, right? But it doesn't have too much specularity, especially this one because it's white on the inside, okay? This in the center helps it be even, right? If you have a giant softbox and you put one of these in there, it doesn't look like a beauty dish, right? There's more to the beauty dish than the deflector, but you need the deflector to make it a beauty dish because this keeps it even. So let's just start with the very basic shot. I'm gonna put the light in the center, and we're gonna put you, let's see, I'm looking for the spot in the floor where there's a mark where my C-stand always goes. I've been here so long, I've worn a hole in the floor. All right, I'm gonna throw a sandbag on this. Safety first. Okay, light is sandbagged, just like this demo. All right, so we're gonna bring it out. And from this position, we're gonna be able to get several different shots, but we're gonna bring it out and we're gonna make it so that it will create a light in the center of her face, coming down and even, okay? I think we'll start more like that Avedon shot where it's a little bit further away. So the further away your light is, the harder it's going to be, but also the more the shadows will distribute, right? You will see less of the intense shadow because it's going to spread out. It's going to be flatter, right? Flat is a very important term that we don't use that much, right? We're always talking about hard light, soft light, but it's also flat light, right? Flat light means that the shadow is basically reduced. It's behind the subject, you can't see it, right? It's typically, if done wrong, it's ugly, right? Whenever I do a fill light and I'm like, doesn't that look terrible? That's flat. In this case, we're gonna make beautiful flat light. Also, just because I'm gonna shoot 85 millimeters. I know, it's a little crazy. Actually, I probably should go closer to 50 since we're going for that vibe. I know, I had you for a second. You thought I was gonna go real long on this one, but nope. We go square. I think we can shoot square with this, but I'll just do that in capture one. All right, so before we do any of this, we have to think about something. And what is that, Eric? Setting up the what? The ISO. Okay, sure. So we need to make sure that here we are in this space, right? If you are ever in a demo in this room and somebody doesn't do this, you should yell at them in your head. Don't do it out loud, it's rude. What's the deal with the light in the room, right? Get rid of the light in the space if you don't want it to be part of your shot, right? So I don't want it to be part of my shot. So how do I get rid of the light in my space? I set my ISO at the lowest ISO within the normal range, my shutter speed within the highest shutter speed within the normal range, and I set my aperture so that it's dark enough, right? Creating the black frame, right? That's what I'm gonna be known for. There's gonna be a museum that's gonna have my work, just black frames. Okay. So, nothing happened. I think we're in the wrong folder for some reason. Folders.
While Dan's doing that, all you guys in this chat, there's probably 10 times more than there are likes. How about, I don't know, making Dan feel really validated, make him feel good about himself. Maybe he'll look a little taller today, you know?
I don't know why it's not there. Oh, hold on. My camera's gone, I think.
Go up.
No, sir. What's going on? Where am I? All right. Seth is going to figure out what I screwed up while I tell you a joke. So.
We tied raw files. Why?
Oh.
No.
Let me tell you the
After
story
I fix this, I'm going to talk. In Capture One, you can set up your global filters. He had hide raw files. Guess what he's shooting? Raw files. You know what that's good for, though? If you want to show a client JPEGs that have some kind of color from the camera going to them and not the raw files at the same time, great for that. Did Daniel have that today? No. There is no excuse.
It's true. There's no excuse. I had it set that way for exactly the reason that Seth said. I wanted to look at some images that had JPEG, stuff on them, but I can't talk about that in public yet. Okay, so black frame. I'm just keeping Seth on his toes here. Now, and plus you got 3 shots for the price of 1. So here's the shot. We're at F8 and B there, right? Just remember that. You don't need to know why. Why am I at F8? I probably didn't say that. The thing is that I shoot in the space all the time. So I've got a pretty good idea of what the aperture needs to be in order to get rid of these lights in the space. Somewhere around F8 works for this camera. If you're unsure, just take a couple shots or look through the back of the camera. I mean, I know, crazy. All right, so what I like to do here, though, is I have this thing all messed up because I was editing this morning.
You're in a mood today.
All right, so let me check my exposure. Okay, so I want to make sure how dark it is, right? I want to make sure my shadows are dark because I'm basically setting my shadow level here. So I'm going to pull the slider over until we start to see some skin tone. Okay, I don't know what's going on there. Okay. There we go. There we go. So we're about 2.5 stops underexposed. That's good for me. I like to keep it around 2 stops or more. That gives you room, right? Room in your shadows. As beautiful as this light is, I don't want it affecting my shot right now. So I want it gone and I want some room in the shadows to kind of bring them up or crunch them down. So, all right, boom. Now the next thing we can do, we can thank technology because we have TTL in this lights, right? So, do we turn it on? Oh, you got to hold it until the 3 things light up. It's like a test. All right, 13A. So I'm going to turn off the lights in my other group. So this is a Profoto light. It's a B30, I believe. Yeah. So basically, it's set in my group A, which means as I add more lights, I can control them independently. Group A, on here, TTL through the lens metering. Through the magic of science, or the science of magic, I can take a shot and it will give me the perfect exposure, right? Oh, how glamorous. So here we are, right? We have punchy light. It's a little hot. My mic's hot and the thing's about it. So we've got punchy light. The exposure looks okay. It looks a little bit hot to me. I'm just going to study it. And the way that you know if you have the right exposure, you look. Yeah, it's right. Okay, so she looks the way she looks. That's an enhanced technique right there. She's fine, right? She looks good. She's got this punchy shadow under her chin, no shadow under the nose, right? Because the light is flat, right? If I want to add depth to the light, so this is great if she wants to move around. Having flatter light is going to make it a little bit easier. When she moves her nose around, we're not going to get weird shadows, right? Sometimes we get in there real precise with our light, and what we get is they move their nose a funny way, and zoom, the shadow's going up the wrong way. You can't use the shot. You never work again. It's terrible. Now she can move any way she wants, just like that, and boom, it still looks good, right? Just like that. Everything looks good. If we want to be more precise, we want to add more shape to her face, we got to move the light closer. The closer the light is, the faster the fall off, the more drama. Now, you could also just move the subject to you if you were lazy like me. So I'm going to do that. Marissa, come towards me. A little closer. Okay, she's really close. Too close. And if I leave the light like this, don't look at it. you know, it's in the shot, right? Now, this could be a good shot, right? Years from now, in my show, there'll be the black frames and then this. Clearly the light's in the shot, right? So we don't want that. I got to raise it up. But also raising the light up will, in fact,
like this shot.
me too. I'm actually liking this. I feel like I'm done. I'm not going to do better than this today, so we'll see you later. Yeah, no, and I did this shot on purpose. I mean, I knew that Marissa would do something silly because we've worked together a lot. And this goes to the second point I was making earlier, or the third point, I don't know, I was counting them, where, you know, you want to feel comfortable with your subject, right? I knew she would do something. She knew it was going to be a bad shot, so she did a funny face. Live for those moments, right? Get somebody comfortable enough that they trust to do that, because she knows I won't post this on Instagram. Oh, I already did. Too late? Okay.
You will post.
I will put it on. That'll be the shot I put. I haven't put a shot on Instagram in like 2 years, but I'll put that one. Okay. We got to raise the light, right? If I just raise the light, sure. It's going over her head, right? Now, this light, look serious this time, right? Is going to have a terrible long shadow, right? Because of the angle of the light, right? It's just coming from above, it's dropping down. That looks bad, right? That's what we call bad, right? Now, somebody out there likes this, and, you know, maybe she does like emo music, right? This is her album. I'm so sad.
That's a crime doc cover on a Netflix thumbnail.
Oh yeah.
Right? All right, so Marissa's challenging and saying that she could make it work. But here, I think the exposure's off. Looks a little hot on her nose. So let's say you like this. I don't know, maybe you're crazy. We can come into here and we can adjust TTL. Now, before I do that though, the trick is you use your capture one. I'm gonna grab the exposure dial and I'm gonna dial it down until it looks good. Oh, Spotify. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay. I am down stop at a quarter. I'm going to go over to my TTL. Now you can do it two different ways. The people who hate TTL, I know you're in the chat room. They're going to be like, why are you shooting TTL? I don't know, because I feel like it. Well, that's also a way to do it. You could also do that, right? Which is going to be perfect, right? So why is that good? Still hot, obviously, but why is that a good shot versus the first one?
Don't all say it at once.
Well, there's no wrong answer. Why is that? Unless you think it's not, then leave. No. Why is that a better shot? Oh.
She's looking up. The light is
She's looking up, and what's happening?
The light is covering more.
It's shaping her face more, right? So, right, there is no bad light. There's only bad photographers. No, is that? No, I didn't say that. No. The thing is, you can use any kind of light, right? If you understand it. The whole point here is to shape Marissa's face. If the light's coming, hitting her in the forehead, right? It's not shaping her face, right? We're just getting a wash of light. If she looks up into the light, don't do this when there's like an eclipse. You know, you get nice light on your face.
What is with it?
I don't know. Who knows what's with me any day? Let's go to our TTL.
I know exactly what's with you every day.
I've had limited amount of coffee. The thing is, the less coffee I have, the more out of. Look this way with their face. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's better. I lowered my exposure by 0.6 of a stop. I'm going to lower it a little more. So I'm in TTL right now, and I'm telling TTL to give me one stop less exposure than it thinks I need, right? And now we're starting to get closer to our. Oh, I can't see him anymore. But you remember from the beginning, and if you were here at the beginning online, too bad. The more dramatic shots where she was looking up. Now we're getting this more kind of classic beauty shape. And I could use another light here. I could definitely use another light here. So let's add another light. I could use a reflector, right? That's always classic. That kills some time.
You've been killing all my time for years, Dan.
Now, the issue with using a reflector here is that in order for a reflector to work, this is a big deal. Make sure you're filming it. In order for a reflector to work, it has to be able to reflect, right? So if the light is up here, right? How am I going to reflect it? It's like there's no light, right? There's no light there to reflect, so it's not going to work, right? So in that case, what we need is an active fill. Active fill is much like passive fill, except more active. Goes to the gym. He takes part in politics and stuff. All right, so does charity work on the weekends?
So there's a question in the chat that I'm sure you know the answer to.
Uh-oh, 7.
They're saying, forgive their ignorance. Beauty dishes were already used in the 40s and 50s. When were they invented?
My understanding is the beauty dish for flash anyways was created by Profoto. So, yeah. Profoto told me that. Always believe something when somebody tells you they invented something. Pan reflectors have been used for a long time for constant lights, and that's what you're thinking of in the 40s or 50s. So yeah, when it became a quote beauty dish, as I said, I think Profoto claims.
Well, what's funny is they don't even call that a beauty dish. They call it a soft light reflector.
It is the soft light
So it's
reflector,
like, what are we doing?
It's not soft light either. Well, I guess it could be. Second, all right. You know, thank God for autofocus. Okay. Did that fire?
Yeah.
Did it? Shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have fired because C group's off. Let's try it again. Yeah, okay, there we go. If it fires when it's not supposed to, then you just have to try it again. All right, so Marissa's posing. I'm able to see the back of the screen over here. I'm doing this. And I'm adding a little fill light, right? So I just let TTL do its thing, and then I'm going to look at it and make an adjustment. I think I could use a little more fill than that, right? Oh, yes, thank you, Seth.
One day you're going to wipe your own nose, man.
Never. All right. So right now, our fill light is a little bit less filling, right?
What is going
than we'd like. So we're going to add a little juice to it. I'm going to use TTL. Right now it's at 0. I'm going to add 1 stop because I only deal in 1 stop increments. Another question, shoot.
Maya's asking, can you achieve the same lighting with an A2 in a smaller space?
I definitely could do that, yes. So the main issue with shooting in a smaller space, I'll deal with that part first, is that you're going to get more reflection off the walls and such, right? So if you're in a small space that has like bright red walls or something, you're probably going to have more trouble kind of controlling the head. What? Seth is making a comment. What's nice?
I think it's a good shot. I just think her head mannerisms can be pointed a little bit more towards us.
Yeah.
More?
Because what happens is the cheek line and the jawline become like a flat surface, be like there's a lot of surface area.
Yeah. All right. So this is the rule of 3s. If you do something 3 times, you put it on a stand. There's so many rules of 3s, is just one of them. So I'm going to quickly put this reflector on a stand. I mean, I could use a softbox or something, but I feel like people have done that before. Nobody's ever bounced light off a card before. The first time ever.
This is also a good situation for like an umbrella where
Yeah,
you're basically
an umbrella
bouncing it into a white board. Well, guess what a white umbrella would probably mimic pretty well.
That is exactly correct.
But Daniel likes to do this because,
I do.
he's got to fill time. There's about 2 minutes of the hour he's got to fill up,
Yeah.
He slowly grips
I don't
it
have that
and-
much content, so I got to make it last. All right. All right. So this is bouncing off the board here. We could call that a bounce board. I just coined that phrase, like the beauty dish. All the powers stay the same. I just kind of moved the light slightly. Let's get a better composition of Marissa's face. Just give me a little bit of this. There we go.
Oh, I think I blocked.
Oh, she blinked.
She's having a moment.
Okay.
That's nice.
So now we're getting some nice fill. I wonder, the only issue now is that I don't love the shadow on her nose because her face is too low. So I think I'm going to lower the light slightly and make it in a better position. We'll leave the fill light where it is because I'm liking that. See how we're working with the shot instead of just like taking it down because it was terrible? I could just redone it better, but no, this makes more sense. All right, I'm just going to tilt this slightly forward to create a nicer look here. Again, I'm not going to do it perfect because I'm kind of liking how the lights, when I say perfect, because when you're aiming a beauty dish, the center of the dish should be in the center of your main subject, right? So if I'm making a beauty shot, the center of the dish should be pointing at her nose, right? Which is the middle of her head. So I'm still shooting over her head a bit, but I'm kind of liking this rough style. So we're going for it.
There's a request in the chat for just the fill light by itself so they can see what it looks like and what it's doing.
Oh, then they'll find out it's not doing anything. Yeah, okay, sure. Give me 1 second. All right, I usually do that. The one time I don't, somebody asks for it. All right. Okay, hold on. Loosely, but don't let go. All right, so I'm gonna turn off the A light, which is my key, and I'm just gonna fire the fill light, but I'm gonna switch to manual. And the reason why I'm gonna do that is because I'm in TTL, right? And TTL, when you shoot multiple lights, is gonna factor in all the different lights, right? So if I turn off one light and I leave it in TTL, it's gonna change my exposure. So I'm gonna switch to manual so it stays where it is. Then we're gonna take a shot. That's just the fill light. Beautiful. Look how nice that is. That's pretty nice. I'm done. I call this noir. Noir, underexposed noir. So it's just even. Actually, this is not the worst fill light in the world. And you know what? Now you're inspiring me to use this as my key light. So I'm gonna sidetrack for a second. We're on a side quest here, guys. Hold on. I'm turning this light on.
Your whole career has been a side quest.
That is
just so you
true.
know.
All right. Now, I am a little afraid the beauty dish might throw a weird shadow on her, but let's just see. Okay, I'm not hating that. You could buy this Daniel light on Adorama. No, you see this back here? That's the beauty dish throwing a weird shadow. This has got a like quasi-organic feel, but it's still garbage. So let's go back to the first shot. Totally different feel. Teresa likes it. I'm sorry I called it garbage. I'm not really, it is garbage. Okay. All right, so back to this. I can't remember what my settings were before, but we're just gonna go for it. Bring your chin down a tiny bit. There you go. Oh, interesting. Okay. You don't like that? You kind of look a little bit like Taylor Swift. Yeah. Wow. Can't say half step to Marissa. I have to say like a quarter of a half of a third of a step. No, you're fine. We're bringing Marissa back a little bit. Oh, nope, 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 nope. There we go. Okay, we got one shot somewhere, sure. All right, there we go. That's the one. All right. Good. There we go. Black and white. Let me get my other camera that shoots black and white. So we could shoot these in black and white if we want. And in fact, this light is good for it. I have to go to my, why is this not over? No, I know where it is. I just have, why is it not there all the time? Because this thing's not wide enough on the screen, I guess. There we go. Aha, I fixed chapter 1. I know I need a better laptop. This is the one that they give me. Hold on. I'm losing it. Oh, black and white. There it is. Nobody got excited off that, so we're going back to color. No, 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 no. Yes, sir. Uh-oh.
With the beauty that you said is always supposed to stay in the middle. Is that all times, even when changing positions or directions of light for the light?
That's a good question. So I said the beauty dish should stay in the middle. That's the way you should do it. Whenever somebody tells you this is the way you have to do something, tell them, too bad. Don't tell me how to do it on my work. No, so the reason why you keep it in the center like that is just so it's more even.
Okay.
So it depends on what you're going for. So in this case, we don't want it to be even actually because we're creating a little bit more of an organic feel. So we're breaking that rule, right?
Okay.
But yeah, sure. If I had the light in the center over the camera and let's say they turn their face this way, I might want to bring the light over here because that might create a different shadow for me. So this is just a basic way to set it up.
Okay.
No, that's a good question though. Never trust anybody that tells you you have to do it one way. Yeah, Seth's gonna do a great color grade on this or a black and white grade as is because he's awesome at it. and then he's going to save it as Marissa black and white for me, so I'll use it forever, like the Cadence black and white one. So the thing is, you can't just make something black and white. I mean, you can, but that doesn't give you the real depth that a black and white image will have. So you want to get certain things with black and whites. You want a nice, deep, dark black with some detail, ideally. You want whites that are close to blowing out, but, you know, in obviously a range like in her eyes. And then you want your midtone to be this kind of silvery glowiness. So you can see how Seth did that. He made it so that it looks like a true, nice black and white shot.
Yeah, when you guys are doing black and white color grades, you see this on the left where it's red, yellow, green, all that stuff. Yeah. That's channels. So those colors don't just go away. It's going through that as a different tone of gray. So like I put this at -30 on red. Watch when I crank it.
Yeah.
Her lips go neutral, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can watch this back on stream. You don't got to record me on your phone. And then, and then you can dial it all the way down and watch how much it gets crunched, right? So if you find, what I do is I watch the lip, the skin tone, and the hair because she's a redhead. And then look at the yellow slider. Watch her hair with the yellow slider. See how it goes from dense to getting a little more rich. Get that silver in there. So just pay attention to that kind of stuff. Usually your shadows are cool tones, so that's cyan, blue, and magenta. And green is a bit more about micro textures. But for a quick grade, I'm going to leave it at that. And then Dan's going to bother me forever to save it.
All right. Yeah. So if you could save that. So now, just because I feel like it, and you should always do what you feel, as long as it doesn't hurt other people, I'm going to shoot a picture with this pinhole camera. It's got f1.73 aperture. So we need to do a little math. Yeah. So before I do that, let me actually get a couple of good shots here for Marissa. So stand by.
They're asking if you would ever use 2 beauty dishes.
Would I use 2 beauty dishes if I had the money? Well, yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to. Yeah, they want it in black and white. I'm just gonna, I know online everybody gets mad if I show the top of the head, but I think I'm gonna show it here. Yeah, no, it looks bad. Okay, let's go back to what it was. Marissa doesn't know how to pose when you show her whole head. All right, bring it out. All right, yeah, strong, weak, somewhere in the middle. Say random things, don't look at the subject, look over here, this is how we shoot. Okay, so here we go. All right, here we go. Nice and pretty. Boom, 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 boom. Good like that, and good. Okay, so we got some pictures. And again, this light is fairly versatile. If she brings her chin down a bit, it gets kind of contrasty, but it can work, right? It can work within the series. I think it's better in color, but neutral to chin up is probably your best bet.
Do you want to take the
Yeah, I want to take that off, yeah. There we go, yeah. So we've got a nice color tone here, right? Marissa's looking good under this light. Let's bring the beauty dish into a more kind of classic position like I was talking about, where it's more even on her face, just so I can show the difference. So come back a little bit more this way, and then center on the light to the right. Yeah, so this is at the center of your head, boom. I know, Ab, if you're watching, I'm doing it right now for you. Ab made a whole video about how you can do it wrong. And I was like, man, I've been doing it wrong this whole time. No. Yeah. All right, so the difference here is just gonna be more even. Right? See how it's more even on her face now? Right? So here you got a bit more shadow at the bottom, right? And here, it's more even. So it depends on what you're going for, but that's the kind of correct way to do it if you were doing like beauty cosmetic stuff. This one? Yeah, see? That's because that's the right way. Yeah, should have listened to me. It is a white beauty dish. Notice I'm not using grid today. Grids are going out of fashion. Stop using them. All right. You heard that today here on Instagram and TikTok or wherever you're doing over there, Akiva. Good. Okay, so we got a few shots. And I said I was going to do something else, and I forgot what the pinhole camera. All right. So a pinhole camera is basically a box. You know, every camera is a box with a hole in it, right? It's got a tiny little, I can't show you the pinhole because I'll expose the film, but behind this little gate, there's a little pinhole, literally. I'm gonna lift this up and we're gonna count together as a group, like Sesame Street. And then we're not gonna do that because we're gonna use flash. Okay. The aperture is f173. So Seth's going to do the math. No, I'm getting my light meter out. So this is a light meter. There, I may not like it, but this one is mine. Scanic. I have 400 speed film in here. It's a film camera. I guess I should have said that, but I thought that might have been obvious. But it is a 400 speed film, 400 ASA. And I'm going to do a reading on the flash. I'm just going to turn the flash up all the way because I know it's going to need a lot of power.
You were joking about the grid thing.
Oh, I was joking about the grid thing. I didn't put the grid on, but I always say to use a grid because they're in style. So, you know, I am not a trendsetter. Okay, so now let me explain what a grid does. So when you put the grid on the light, it narrows the spread of the light. It does not focus it, it narrows the spread, it feathers it out. So a grid is useful if you want to, let's say, get the light off the background. Also adds a bit of contrast to the light. We'll use it again in a second. Let me just do this first. All right, let me. Okay, so I'm going to come to my light here. I'm going to switch to manual, and I'm going to turn it up all the way. Now, in order to maintain a similar ratio, this light back here was one stop less. So I'm going to make this at 9. So this one's at 10. This one's going to go to 9. It's a one-stop difference in Profoto world. Okay. So if I made a shot now with the digital camera, it's going to be crazily overexposed. There you go. All right, that's nothing. Don't worry about that. Let's see if we can recover it. That's if we can, that's what you call dynamic range.
You burned her a little bit, but
yeah,
considering that's what it really looks like.
Yeah. Not bad, like a Blondie cover. All right. I'm going to do a meter reading, and then we're going to see what f-stop we get from the flash, and then we'll do math. Who said they didn't know you have to do math today, did you?
So now they're asking about a diffusion sock on the beauty dish. What would that be?
Okay, so we'll do let's do a little cutaway here. In the post-processing, you'll cut this away into like a little section. No? Okay. Beauty dish. Normal. It's a pan reflector. Even light, right? Kind of punchy. If you use it up close, it's hard, but not too hard. Grid narrows the spread, keeps light off the wall. Diffusion in front will make it less, will make it more diffuse, so it'll break down your highlights. If you get shiny skin, that's what a diffuser's for. This is white, so we're not really having that problem. So I'm getting F51, right? So they double, right? So 51 to 102, and then does it go to 2? So that's one. So it's 1.5 stops. So we got to, yeah.
You're at what'd you say is 170?
172.
So it's a
1 2/3. Okay, so when you're using multi-pop, here's the thing. So this is basically one of those things that you have to, the very basic law of photography is that all your stops are double or half, right? So if we fire the flash once, we get enough light to give us F51. But we need to get additionally 1 2/3 more stops. I'm not going to get that precise, but we're going to say 2 more stops, just to be fair. So to get 1 more stop, we'd have to fire the flash 2 more times, right? To get 2 more stops, we have to fire the flash additionally another 4 more times, right? I did the math right? Yeah.
Or we could do.
Or we could add more lights. What should we do? More lights?
I was thinking that in my head.
You would think of more lights, weren't you?
I also want you guys to remember, you're not going to see this shot.
Yeah, you'll see it next time I do
This
it.
is-
You know what? We could use more lights. But let me show the grid first. I'll do that at the end. I know all that build up, now you gotta wait till the end.
You got
All right. What time is it?
5:40. You didn't fill enough time.
I was trying to make a big thing with the pinhole, and now I gotta, my mom's watching. All right, so
Your mom is not watching.
no, she's not actually. She's
If your mom was watching, I'd see her in the chat by now.
yeah, she is. She's
Hi,
not
Muriel.
today.
Hey, Muriel.
All right. She's like, I've seen that demo before. All right.
Before we go sideways, you guys have any questions? You all right?
Yeah.
We're good? All right.
So we're gonna use a grid now, but we'll change up the shot a little bit too. We'll make it a little more dramatic because we feel like it. First thing I'm gonna do though, is I'm just gonna take a shot like we had it with the grid so you could see the difference, right? That's about where it was. Thankfully, my memory is still pretty good. So I'm going to go back to TTL because that's where we were before. And, oh, actually it stayed. So, no, it didn't. That was, yeah, this is a little bit under one stop underexposed. This is under one stop underexposed based on what TTL wants. What does that even mean? I know you don't know what this means. No, you do know what it means, don't you, Eric? All right, through the lens, that's right. So when we are using TTL, it's making an exposure, right? It's telling our camera and our flash, you know, the camera's telling the flash how much light to put out there. If I say, hey, that's too hot for me, I can give it a ratio. So I'm turning it down, but I'm only turning it down in ratio, okay? That's what's important here. I just added something in front of the light. So that's gonna eat light. As long as there's enough power in the flash, the TTL will just compensate for that. I don't have to re-meter everything. It will automatically do it. Now, since I gave so much faith to TTL, it's not gonna work. Okay, took 2 shots. Oh, there we go. All right, TTL, good on you. All right, that's with the grid. Okay, so do we see a difference? Right? The background, right? Way less light in the background because the grid is condensing where the light falls. A little bit more contrast on her. Oh, yeah. And, right? Grid on the right. Okay, fine, grids are cool. Yes.
How do you know when you should be grid versus not grid for particular situations? You know?
Okay, so when do I know when to use a grid? Well, if you knew how much a grid costs, you always use it once you buy. No, I'm just kidding. So you use a grid when you want to control the spread of light, right? I was not using the grid before because I knew I wanted a big open single light shot because of a lot of what we looked at had that vibe, right? If I'm using a grid, my background's almost always going to get dark. The light's almost always going to fall off. If I'm shooting more of a body, like we're not going to light the whole body. So if you're lighting a portrait, if you're trying to control things, if you don't want light on the wall, a grid's going to be helpful. However, the grid can add contrast. It does add a little bit of contrast to the light. Oh, in this case, it's not super noticeable. In fact, it almost looks flatter, but that could be because of the ratio of the film. And yeah, so that's it. So when do you use a grid? When you want more control, right? When do you use a diffuser that I talked about earlier? You use it when you have highlights that are blowing out, right? Do not put a diffuser on the outside of your grid, because it will go to the grid and get narrow, then hit the diffuser and spread out, right? I see people do this all the time, and I think to myself, don't say anything, and I don't, because I'm not going to walk on your set. Actually, I will. If I see you do that, I will do that. The right way to do it is to cut a piece of diffusion, put it on the inside of the grid, and then you're good to go.
You come out of like the shadow.
I would. I just show up on your set. I'm like, hey, did you shoot a black frame? Let me see it. All right. Questions? Any other questions before we move on? Yes.
Would you do that with gels as well?
Gels can also do that, but not as much as the diffuser.
Okay.
You know, it depends on the gel, obviously, because the gel is a little bit more clear. Diffuser is meant to spread the light out. That's what it does. Yeah. That's a good question, though.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I always shoot lower with the light meter in the camera. I always shoot like underexposed on
Yep.
purpose, so I always like to bring things up versus if you have too much highlights, it's hard to
Sure.
take them out.
Underexposed,
Is
yeah.
that a good rule of thumb? I just do it naturally, but I don't know if that's
I mean,
what you guys always do.
So, generally speaking, with digital cameras especially, you have more recovery in your shadow than you do your highlight. So the rule was always to not blow out, right? So a lot of people said underexpose a little bit, which is what you're doing naturally. I tend to go the other way because of lots of math and stuff. There's actually more detail on the light end that I don't want to lose by going too dark. But if I'm out in the field and I'm not tethered and I don't know, I would go either neutral or a little underexposed to make sure you don't blow out your highlight if you're afraid of that. Especially if you're natural light, yes. So it's not a bad move, no.
Why is it that you keep your cover like TTL? Why not just take it and this would be money and just take money?
So why do I keep my camera in TTL even after I get the first exposure? Well, if I was shooting a portrait, like I was sitting down to just make a portrait with Marissa, and I'm on a tripod and I'm lighting it, I would probably switch to manual once I got going. But I'm doing a demo and I'm moving stuff around constantly. And if I switch to manual, I will forget. And then I'll get a shot like this. And then Seth will be like, what'd you do, Daniel? And then I'll be shamed for the rest of my life.
Exposure compensation, correct? And all of the-
I'm using the TTL exposure compensation. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm at almost minus one stop on both lights. Remember, I got two lights going on here. The light in the beauty dish and the light in the $400 Daniel light that you can pick up after right here on the stand. Other questions? Oh, okay.
Oh, for the TTL, I know you said you rather use TTL instead of
Uh-huh.
So, like, what if somebody wanted to have an explanation on how you took the picture? You would just say, I shot it in TTL. You wouldn't break down, like, the details?
So all TTL is doing is metering for you, right? So if I was to explain this when I shot it in TTL, I would give you my camera settings, right? F8, 100 ISO, 200th of a second. I exposed at one stop under the meter reading for my lights. Okay? It'd be the same if I did it handheld or with that, yeah. If you were gonna repeat this shot, what I would likely do is once I got it figured out and you were gonna use the same lights, I would just switch to manual, write down the actual numbers, and then I would measure everything. Yeah, but you know, I don't usually do the same thing twice.
Someone in the chat's asking what's the difference between a small and a big beauty dish. So you want to go over beauty dish size?
Okay, so the difference in all modifiers really with the size is the coverage, right? And hard/softness, right? The softness of your light is the size of the light relative to your subject, right? So if I am shooting, let's say, a full-length shot of Marissa, and I use this beauty dish in order to make it even, right? I'd have to move it, let's say, over here, right? 10 feet away or whatever, 8 feet away. Now it's going to be small compared to how big it is when I'm just photographing her head, right? So if I was going to photograph a larger portion of somebody's body and I wanted to keep the light soft, I would use a bigger modifier, right? Same thing's true of softboxes, octaboxes, umbrellas, reflectors, all of that is the same. Typically, you'll find people who do a lot of lighting like I do, like Seth, we use a lot of smaller modifiers because it gives us more control, right? I could put a giant softbox right here, right? But it's going to throw light everywhere, right? I want control, so I'm using a smaller thing. Yeah. Plus, I have a beauty dish from you. No, kidding. I chose this for that reason, right? Small space, small modifier. Now, I used to have people tell me all the time, they'd be like, I have a really small space, so I need a tiny softbox. And I'm like, well, how far away can you move the softbox? I don't know, like 3 or 4 feet from my subject. I'm like, you need a big softbox. And they'd be so confused. They'd be like, hold on, I have a small space. Why do I need a big softbox? Because if you have a little softbox and I can move back this far and I shoot her full length, her feet are going to be dark, right? Nobody wants dark feet. Okay.
You don't know. Some people are.
Questions? All right. I'm going home. All right. What's I going to do? Oh, pinhole camera. Any other questions about this? Let's do let's do another frame first. I'm going to do more of like I want Marissa put special makeup on her moles, so we're going to do like a kind of a profile shot. That's the word. I know my words. I'm the editor.
While Dan's doing that, why don't you guys hit like in this chat? There's twice as many of you in here than there are likes. Do you hate Daniel? If so, just tell him. Just let him know.
Wow.
You know.
You could also unlike, I think. Fernando counts the likes at the end of the day and then talks to me. Yes, sir, in the back. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like Marissa have this room.
Mm-hmm.
So the face is more big, right?
Right.
If we want to apply this veil to the face, is there a way to do it like in camera or automatically in
Okay, sure. So you're saying that Marissa has got too much makeup on. So you're yelling at her like her mom did today when she left her house today. No, if somebody is wearing has a lot of color in their skin and you want to like lighten it, You can just simply overexpose it a little bit. Well, I'll show you. I'll do it on this one. I'm going to overexpose you, Marissa. No. You said you hated it, and now Marissa feels bad. Marissa is so sad. Yes. Wow.
Let's photograph you.
I'm already pale. All right, come a little closer. All right, so we're gonna do kind of like a profile-y shot. It's gonna look like profile-ish. I guess I'll turn off my Daniel light in the back. So now I'm gonna turn off the light in the back, which is in my C group. I'm still in TTL, but I'm gonna reset it back to 0, because again, I'm in a new setup now. The grid is on the light, right? It's a little high, but I'm going for something here. You know, I'm probably going to change this, just so you know, but we're going to do one anyway. So I made all this effort to explain it. I think I'm going to use a long, no, I'm not going to do it. I almost zoomed in. I know every time people come and watch this, they really want me to get over that 100mm mark. Maybe someday I will. Today won't be that day. Okay, so we're going to rip this across and create a little bit more of a dramatic light. And we can see that she's a little brighter. She's overexposed here. And I should have went from the other side. I'm backwards. All right, hold on. Not the first time I'm backwards. Step up for a second. All right. Okay. That's heavy.
No, Daniel will not be using Black Pro Mist filter to soften the image a bit.
Yeah, no Black Pro Mist.
We're not even joking about that. He's very anti-Pro Mist. For those of you guys who don't know what that is, that's basically a diffusion filter for the lens itself in various densities, 1/8, 1/4, 1/16. But you're married to it.
Yeah, I can't afford a Pro Mist. Okay, so we're going from the back to get the shape of her face, and then we're going to add some flat light from the front. I'm going to use my Daniel light again. I know, not bad, right? Because I had to name it after myself so I could make money. Well, if I use, oh, hold on. I know you'd be willing to pay all the money for Daniel light the way it is, but if you only knew the backside is silver. I know. And I'm going to have to charge more for it now because I got to have Seth put him silver on the back.
I spray painted that silver on the roof.
I know.
So you look at it and charge you.
Yes, I am lucky. All right, so because I didn't do it earlier and got called out on it, I'll do one light at a time. All right, I'm going to turn off the back light, turn on the front light. We're in TTL, remember, so I'm going to 0 again. Same thing, dramatic, boom. Okay, all right, there you go. It's got that like boom flash bulb vibe, right? And then I'm gonna throw my other light on. And I'm gonna switch here. All right, here we go, glamorous. Oh yeah, okay. What is that? Is that the beauty? Oh, that's a beauty dish, that's why, okay. Ah, the beauty dish is in my shot. Back up a tiny bit. Very good. You could smile if you want, look at like kind of a flirty smile. Not too flirty. Kiva can't get it for social media. Okay, there we go. Let me erase it. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to. All right, so if I was like actually cared, I would change this to a different modifier. But you know, I don't care about you guys. No, I'm just gonna back up a little bit. I don't mind if this gets a little bit harder because it's meant to be a hard light coming from the back. I'm backing it up so we get the shadow off our face and we get a little more coverage. Because if there's one thing that I know about Marissa from shooting with her for many, many years, she's not good at staying in one spot. She's good at so many things. Staying in one spot is not one of those things. If you need them all to move all around, to be energetic, stay in one spot, no. Oh, the light's in the shot. This is why I need a crew of assistants to do this. I know, but I can't trust them with a beauty dish. It's too expensive. I know it's definitely sets actually. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Glamorous. Shooting. I'm firing. Oh, I'm still getting that shadow. All right. I just cannot resist that shadow. You know what? I'm just going to live with it. You know what? In life, there was a shadow there. And, we had some, okay. I overshot. That's called overshooting. Let me. Okay. You know what it is? Because my coffee's not over, because last time I spilt it and Seth got mad. Yeah. All right, we're getting this glow, right? The specularity, which by the way, I'm adding purposefully, because again, I think that hints at the film and stuff of the time, the color film especially. You know, slide film, you pop those highlights really easily, especially with something that's specular. So that's a specular highlight. I could put a diffuser on there and kill the grid, right? And that would help with that, but I don't want to do it because I like the specular highlight. I'm making that choice. I really don't want that shadow there, though. Should I back it up even?
Shadow and cold.
All right, I'm chasing the shadow. Seth said I could. We don't have the Magnum, do we?
It's from this. Watch it. Look.
No, that's not it.
Yeah, it is. Look at that shadow right there. See it? Not that. That's from that light. You're not shooting ambient light, remember? Okay. That's casting that shadow from the beauty dish.
Well, yes, I know.
Yeah.
But the beauty dish is what the shadow's coming from.
That's what I said. Are you kidding me right now? Yeah, no, too many years. We're not doing this.
I think we had a failure to communicate there. No, I'm not going to do the pinhole shot. I don't have time now. Do you want me to, Akiva? Akiva wants the pinhole shot.
That could be for after.
There you go.
There it is. Okay. Wow. Okay. I'm feeling better about this now. Let's see if we can get a big smile. There we go. Okay. There we go. Sunny beach. Waiting for the light stir cycle. That's how they did it in the 50s. They weren't at the beach. They couldn't afford to. All right. So we're getting that sparkly light. We're getting that kind of feel, right? Using the beauty dish as a hair light, which people hate, lighting companies.
Oh,
But you know what? I don't care, because what did I say to you earlier? How do I use a beauty dish? However I damn want. That's right. What was the question?
We're getting too relaxed. Yeah.
Well, let's shoot that pinhole shot. All right, hold up. We're doing this. We want to add more lights, right?
All
I
right,
think
last
the
call for
simplest way is just
questions.
all right, guys, we're going to do a quick pinhole shot because I feel like it. And I think what we're going to do is just hit her hard with a bunch of lights from the front, right?
Rip another light.
Yeah.
You want to do a second head?
You got this one?
Yeah.
Yep. I think we might need 3 even, though. All right. I think we need 3.
500,000, right? So that gives you another stop.
Yeah.
What do you want to do with that? Because every light, in theory, should take down 1 pop of light.
Right.
So how many pops are you up to?
5.
You're on 5?
I think.
It doesn't matter how many you
Oh, yeah.
shoot.
I think. Well, let's just meter it and see what we get. Let's use this one too, because we can. This is Akiva's fault, by the way. We weren't going to do this. I mean, I can also just stand here for 4 minutes, but I don't feel like that's exciting. Yep. This one too. All right. We're going to use a whole lot of light to get as close as possible so we can hopefully do this in just 2 pops.
The chat's asking where can they see the shot after you develop it.
I'll show it at another onset. I'll bring it in. Well, maybe I might put it on Instagram. We'll see.
All right. So if you guys don't understand what's going on here, every light we add is another stop of light, right?
Right.
So he's got an F1 8 bazillionth stop pinhole camera, so we got to add a lot more light into this. He's doing multiple pops, right? So every light we add takes down 1 of those multiple pops. The less pops we do, the better chance we have here of not having motion blur and double images and stuff.
I'm losing way too much light by bouncing, though. we have less light with all three lights. We just had to point them right at her.
Just stop easily. Right?
Yeah, let's just point them right at her. Yeah. All right, so we're just gonna point all the lights directly at Marissa.
Whoa.
And it'll create a really ugly light, but it's pinhole and people, it's film, so people will think it's cool. Right? This is gonna be a lot of light.
You got one more head.
All right.
Yeah, she will leave sunburn. That's right. Yep.
I actually feel the heat.
114.
We're
We need one
gingers.
more
We
head,
get
we'll there.
burned. This is what happens.
I think we can do it with one more head. We're at 114.
You want? Okay.
All right, I'm at F114 right now. So if we can use in one pop, that'll be amazing.
You want to do a shorty from underneath? Just
Yeah.
as like a fill?
Yeah, because we can actually move the camera.
I actually can feel the heat when it comes.
Where did this pinhole come from? Why are we doing By the way,
No,
in the middle of the night,
I
Seth
see.
sent me a thing on Instagram. He's like, look at this camera.
No, I send you that stuff so I don't buy it. Then I end up using it because you buy it.
Right, so I bought it. So now I have this pinhole camera. And I was running
How
around.
this demo is turning into a pinhole demo.
And I'm like, I just bought this thing. And in order for me to write it off my taxes, I got to use it on a commercial shoot. You see me using it right now, IRS.
How is this a commercial shoot?
I mean, I get paid. Well, not really.
When do we get paid?
Well, I get cookies. All right. I mean, now I'm putting it on the tripod. So here we are, hanging out in Adorama, doing pinhole cameras just like the old days. I think if we're close, we're just going to go for it. I'm not going to worry about multi-pops if we don't have to. We can take multiple shots though, because I think I have like 3 or 4 more shots left on this roll.
All right. So
Think of it this way: 4 heads, 500 watt seconds each, all at full power. 500 watt seconds each times 4. That's right, 2,000 watt seconds. I'm glad elementary school worked out for you guys. This is going to be a lot of light, Marissa.
Okay,
Actually,
hold on.
I have the other
Meter?
light. I have the big light.
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
No, I don't think this should be from below because it's going to.
because
Yeah, let's put it like here. Okay. Because I gotta get 173 or whatever the.
For the record, this is Daniel's idea to do something with all this lead up to show you no image. I just want you to know it's not me, guys. It's Daniel.
I'm testing out a new theory that I could do these demos and shooting film, and never show a picture.
This is for all the film kids that cry that all we do is digital.
Yeah, there we go. You're getting it today.
Enjoy your fedora hats.
I think I can pull off a fedora. All right. Okay.
she's gonna be vaporized.
All right. So
Oh my god, Dan. Well,
we should take a shot from this direction.
this is gonna be right in the back.
Akiva, get a social shot from this direction, please.
This is going
It's not hitting her. All right, got to aim even better. I mean, they do spread a decent amount, but let's get the most out of it. All right, we're only in one shot. Did you take the remote? I need it popped.
You want me to do the pop?
Oh, I'll test it first. All right, here we go.
Rest in peace, Marissa's eyes, they're saying.
Am I pointing at it?
You're gonna
Or did it go away? Over. It says over. I think that's basically a description of what's going on here.
grabbing your face. That's why.
Oh, sorry. It says over. All right.
What ISO you said it?
400. Okay, 128 back there. I think we're good.
What film are you shooting?
400. 400 film. All right. We're just going to go for it. This is going to be amazing. I have the pinhole camera. I have many thousands of dollars worth of lighting equipment. And all of you. What could go wrong? So, Marissa, get into a good pose. All right, we could do that. Do you want to flip your hair?
No.
Okay, because I could do that. I could do it. You want to see that? All right, I'm doing it. All right, I already opened the lens. Hurry up, flip. Go, flip. Boom. All right. I got it. We're going to close it. I got it, didn't I? You know I got it. We'll get another one.
I cannot wait for you to have to show everybody what the shot is. After
Hold on.
saying I got it.
Okay. All right, here we go. We're going to try it again. Well, let's try a more posed one, just so we know. Okay, ready? I'm going to open up the lens. All right, it's open. Here we go. Nice. Wow, I'm blind and I'm not even in front of the camera. All right, good. I mean, I was blind before I started. All right. Well, you'll see it if you want to go to the dark room right now. All right, here we go. I said we should do one more flip. Don't you think that was good? I think I nailed it. I'm just going to prove right now that I don't need 30 frames, 60 frames, 1,000 frames a second. All you guys have.
This isn't the big flex you think it is. I just want you to.
No. I feel like it is. All right, here we go. You got to flip your hair. All right, here we go.
Chat saying, trust me, bro.
All right, here we go. Whenever you're ready. Perfect flip. Go. Boom. Oh.
All right, that felt good.
Oh, close that down. All right, good.
Just so you know, the light meter all the way over here is reading F11. That's from all over here, just from these shots going on.
All right, I got 2 more shots on this roll. We're gonna do another regular one.
How's my hair? Look good?
All right, let me look at you. Beautiful. All right, here we go.
Yes, it's $8,000 in lights, but it's really good
Nice.
lights.
All right, and last one. Yeah, nice. This is it. This is the shot. This is the headshot. This is the winning shot. This is the one. All right, you ready? Yeah. All right, she's looking good. The lens is opened, and here we go. And all right, done. Okay, well done, Marissa. Clap for Marissa. All right.
She has a tan line from her hair on the side of her face.
Yes. Okay, so there you go. Something to do with inspiration. Look, find inspiration where you can find it. Shoot all the time. Try stuff. Don't listen to that guy. Use your beauty dish however you want, right? Next week, we have some good stuff that Seth's going to tell you about. I'm Daniel Norton. This is Marissa Dot Roper, not just regular Marissa Roper. Marissa Dot Roper, right? 1.
Marissa.
Well, is there another way to spell it?
Yeah, usually it's 2 S's.
Oh, yeah? You can also spell it with 2 S's. Just 1 S. 1 S, 1 dot. You're done. Over here's Seth, last X witness. The X is silent. We're at Adorama. I'm pointing at QR codes.
Oh my God, I hate you so much, Dan. This is the worst dismount I've ever seen.
Nope.
Make him feel better about himself,
There we
boy.
go.
Put him in at home, all right? Guys, we'll see you on the next one. Subscribe to the events channel. We'll see you on 2 weeks.
2 weeks from now.
2 weeks, maybe, something like
something
that.
like
I'll
that.
see you Monday. Shut up. Bye, guys.